So you just clicked on this video about staff, which tells me that you have an issue. You're struggling with your staff, or at least they're not where they could be, right? And I've been there. I've had every staff problem you can imagine, all the way from them being so good and I don't really know what to do with them, from completely disengaged, but I know they have talent and I just cannot get it out of them. So understand it does not need to be that way. There is a way around this, and I'm going to show you how. The high turnover, the constant rehiring, the hamster wheel of employees coming in and out of your business, not caring, is something we are going to end today. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how we built that culture and how to get employees that are stoked to work for you and only you. I'm Mike Basho, Andolini's Worldwide, a real restaurant group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, along with the Unsliced Restaurant System, a program I designed for restaurant owners, independent, to get them out of their own funk. Now, I want to say when it comes to employees, the first major lesson I'm going to give you is you get the employee you deserve. And that sucks. But if you deserve good ones, you're going to get them. So let's talk about it. But before I do, if getting retention on your side and employees that are stoked is your thing and you want help with it, there's a link below to book a restaurant review call with us. We'll get with you, see what you're doing right and wrong, and how you're going to fix it with our help. So you get the staff you deserve. Lesson 1, if you expect them to be idiots, they will reward you and prove you right. If you expect them to be free-thinking people, they can get there, but they have to be led to that end. What does that mean for you? It means that there's a standard operating procedure on how to do everything. And when they do it right, they get good job. When they don't do it or they do it wrong, there's something that calls it out. That isn't, hey, what about this? Why'd you do that wrong? But hey, that's not right. Okay, let's do it again. I still didn't do it right. Let's do it again. And that they know the path of least resistance is to do it right the first time, the way you've shown them. Because if you said that should be common sense, it's not. It's not common sense. Common sense is you creating a standard operating procedure for everything so they could be led to greatness by you. To lead them means not always being liked. Being liked comes after having respect, and you can't ask for respect. Hey, could you please respect me? I sure would appreciate it. It's not gonna work. You have to lead by example and demand respect through your actions. Someone's not cleaning dishes properly? Hey, let me show you how I like to do it. Do it, do it, do it. Show that you're not above dish. Show that you're not above doing grunt work, but then don't do all the grunt work. Because then you become a 55-year-old mom making their 32-year-old son's bed. It's a fine line. You lead and show this is how you do it, this is the expectation, and I can't wait for you to do it with us for a long time. But you then empower them to do it themselves and continually give that satisfaction to them of saying, hey, great job, or you know what, let's tweak it. All right, now you got it. If you come down on them negatively all the time, then all they have to give or live with, then all they have to work from is avoid getting in trouble, which works halfway decent until you're not around. Then the whole place falls apart. And if you feel like that's happening a lot of the time, understand that's why. Every time I leave, they don't do anything. Yeah, because you've trained them to do it, i.e., you get the staff you deserve. So the next thing you're gonna do on this pathway to set the tone is set the tone with your training. Even before they get trained, how do you hire? When they apply and come in, they need to be greeted with a warm environment. The warm blanket. Gone are the days of, maybe we'll take you, here's a test on 100 different spices, let's see how you do. They could go apply to 30 jobs with click, 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 click on Indeed. So you have to stand out. That means you stand out on Indeed or wherever people are applying. And when they do come in, that you are happy and welcoming. Hey, thanks for applying. Would you like some, whatever you sell? And we got a drink for you. Come on, take a seat. Let's talk about it. Now, interview them, get their vibe, be approachable. Have everyone else that's working stop by and say, hey, how you doing? I'm Tom. I'm Terry. When they do that, this person, this newbie, is gonna feel like they're in a warm blanket. Like, this is nice. Why would I apply anywhere else? So you're gonna get good talent to want to work here and stop applying everywhere else, because it's a numbers game. You want a lot of good applicants. The good ones want to feel acceptance. You can be welcoming. Think of high school. Imagine if everyone day one of high school is like, hey, welcome to this new high school. We're sure happy you're here. You know, if you had that experience, Good for you. Most did not. And you going back to that first day of high school, think, oh man, it was sink or swim. Sink or swim is not a good strategy. You might be thinking, well, you know what? We hire them and put them on Friday night and see if they could cut the mustard. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you push them out of the nest and they fail, they're done. You lost them. Not everyone's gonna be that anomaly. So let's get them ready, let them feel acceptance, and then train them on every SOP before we push them out of the nest when we know they know how to fly. And that sets the tone that, hey, we're not gonna push you into doing something that we know you're not prepared to do, which means that you care about their success. And you do, so don't be lazy about it. Train them. 5-day minimum training, solid application process, and you just took your whole strategy for getting new employees up 5 notches. Number 3, now you have them. They're on your team. They dig it. What are you doing to continue this? Hey, you learned our menu, now just work here forever. You could, a lot of restaurants do, but you're gonna be different. Here's what you're gonna do. Continuing education. What continuing education, Mike? Any. Normally, it would be front of house. People are gonna get, let's say, wine or beer training if you serve alcohol. Maybe continuing menu education if they are in the back. Maybe a little bit of an extended cooking process even in the back. But I want you to say, what else could we teach them? Do you want your kitchen managers to be more business focused? Give them a little bit of that, either from you or even a formalized education that you send them to. Let's get something even more obvious. Let's think even more crazy. If your servers are a little bit closed off, don't be above sending them to improv class. Whatever is going to get you to that next level, and them invest in. Even if it's just, hey, we're all going on a brewery tour today. To know that much more about the stuff we're selling, that is continuing education. That is investment. That is bonding, which is going to lower your attrition rate and increase your production, which is what you need. I think all it cost was a trip to a brewery to keep the attrition low with these all-stars or even the mid-range people that you know could be great. You are always, without fail, not in debate, going to have quarterly evals, quarterly evaluations. Don't make it confusing. Just do it January, and then March is done, right at April, and so forth. You're gonna ask questions like, hey, what do you think's going right here? What's going that could be a little bit better? Where do you want to go in this job? What goals do you have? And then say what goals you have for them, along with point out what they could do better, like they were late a bunch of times, and what other things are doing great. And then, last but not least, have them tell you everything else they want to say. Just shut up. Let them talk. They can say, I don't really like anything about you. And you just take it. Why? Because you want them to get their vitriol, their anger out here on this table, not in the kitchen, not on the floor, not when they're going home to tell their significant other how much they hate this job. Because when that happens, attrition goes up, which means they're quitting. Let's hear about it. I hate how every day you schedule me at 8 a.m. when I told you my kid drop off is 8:30. I had no idea. Okay, thank you for telling me. Or, I don't like the way you talk to me. Go on. It's just your vibe's all wrong. Let me hear it. I mean, you always are like saying words. By all means, let them say it. It doesn't matter. Because you don't say something back does not mean you agree. It just means you're being open. Then they're gonna get all this out. They're gonna feel much better, much more heard. You'll know what you need to actually work on versus, okay, that's, and now you're in a power position to save this employee and get them to that next level goal on your terms. Hey, the next thing is one of the biggest differentiators between successful companies and failed companies. And I'm about to get into it, but before I do, the link in the description goes to a restaurant review call. Well, we will deep dive on what you are currently doing. It's right there. Just click the link and we'll talk about it. So here you go. The next thing sounds like corporate horse crap. Give you a heads up. And that is your values. What do you stand for? But Mike, come on. I'm a restaurant guy. I'm not putting some poster on the wall. Yes, you are. And here's the thing. You're doing it not because it's corporate humbug. You're gonna do it because when people know, here's what we stand for, it makes them feel safe. It makes them understand, all right, this is what it's like to have a seat on the bus. This is what I need to be going for. Because you might think it's obvious what you stand for, but it ain't to them. And if you're growing from store 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, having them know that you stand for speed and passion and loyalty as opposed to fun and empathy and respect. Those are all good values, but which ones are yours? All of them. No, not all of them. For Angelini's Worldwide, our restaurant group, it is passion, ethical, efficient, results, and fun. Those are two different sets of core values. You have to establish your own, because once you have established your own core values, now people want to work your way, not their way. And you could pull that off. And that needs to be something they know day one, not like 3 months in, not deep in a manual. It needs to be on Front Street. So you can always say, hey, we stand for efficiency. Was that efficient? No, it wasn't, boss. Now you know, let's work on it. Next rule of keeping the staff on your terms is reward performance. People that do the things that move the needle get ahead, not people who have existed longer. If a server has a higher average ticket, they get ahead. They get more tables. They get prime seating. Not like, well, hey, everyone seems to like this person, or they're doing their side work the best. Unless you value that more than revenue, which is your right to do, you need to value performance. The kitchen crew that moves the fastest with the least amount of mistakes gets rewarded, not the one who it gives you the least amount of problems. Because again, performance dictates your financial success, which means a healthy restaurant and business. But with that said, the next tip is super important, and that is that everyone works for the restaurant. You as the owner work for the restaurant. They don't work for you. We all work for this. When we have that mentality, like, hey, this is what needs to get done for this to be healthy, it will be a mindset change, not only for you, but for them. Because they're not like, hey, what do you need me to do to get by through today? And for you, you're not like, hey, I'm giving out tasks and you work for me and I'm the king of this. No, failed proposition. We are a team. We're not a family, we're a team. And as a team, we get towards results. And my next and final tip is another game changer that is going to take you to these goals of lowering attrition. And that is, as a team, you will have a team building outing. Not just the brewery tour. I mean like a competition. I mean like they're going to do things to beat each other. You are going to build that drive, that love of the game, that valuing of I could be better than I was yesterday into them in a fun way, where they're gonna truly bond, have a great time, learn each other, and get out of their cliques. Not a bunch of kids over there smoking and then the other people that kind of know each other over here. We're getting everyone in the mix to do a solid ass competition on your terms that's going to be dorky and fun and all those things. I don't care if your staff is 17 or 70. People want to have fun. People want to interact. Let them be dorks for you and your brand, and you will reduce your attrition, have happier staff that are more competitive and more driven to succeed. For who? You. Hey, retaining staff is not easy, and it's not about luck. It's about finite processes and leading by example with your emotional connection to your restaurant and them. But it's totally doable. If you want us to work with you to make sure this happens and it's not a hope, then click the link in the description, book your restaurant review call, and let's do it today. And while you're on your way to that, check out this video of how to save your restaurant. I super am proud of it, and I think you will dig it as well. Just click that link, and I'll see you in the future.